Hello everybody, I'm Loken and I'm back, and right now we're doing more Dwarf Fortress Masterwork mod. Now before we get started, I'm going to load up what we call Sound Sense. This will put audio to the game and make it so much more enjoyable for all of you instead of just sitting there listening to my voice for the next half hour, 45 minutes, or however long I make this video. Now it takes a couple seconds to initialize, but there's all your files. You can update it. Now when you first launch it for the very first time in a mod pack, or if you just download it by yourself, you have to do a package update, which takes a little bit of time to do. So if you've only got a couple of minutes to play the game, don't jump into it doing that. What we're going to do now, before we go any further, is we're going to load up DF hack, and we're going to load up a couple of commands here. Auto labor. Okay, so I need an auto labor 1. That activates it. And that's all I'm going to do right now. So, here we go. We are playing Dwarf Fortress. Now, before you go anywhere in Dwarf Fortress, you need to do a bunch of things. You need to set up pastures. You need to dig into the earth. You need to make your farms. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in Dwarf Fortress. Now, you got a couple of things going on here. The first one is your idlers. This tells you exactly what your dwarves are doing. If you have anybody sitting around with twiddling their thumbs, not doing a dang thing. And here's your frames per second. This tells you whether the game's paused or not. You've got two windows here. You can press tab to get rid of that side map, and press tab again to shrink it down, tab again to get rid of it altogether. Okay, I'm running in such a high resolution screen here that it's not going to let me get rid of this completely. So hey, props. Now, you've got a bunch of key commands here to look at. Very confusing at first. Trust me, you will get the hang of it if you start playing. The key ones to remember is Q. Put your little cursor up here. That lets you interact with buildings directly if you don't have the mouse query installed. I'm not going to remove this building because that's my wagon. That's where everything is stored right now. If I remove that, everything would just go and be just laying on the ground here. And then you have U for units. This tells you every person in your fortress. We got our 14 here, so it shows us 14 people. You got 14 citizens, 24 livestock, which is what these are, and we can, I believe, no, we cannot do that here. And then you have others, and then you have dead and missing. Others is where things like a minotaur or an animal that you haven't, that's just random on the map might show up. Dead and missing is, well, obviously what it says, dead or missing dwarves or animals or creatures or anything like that. And then you have V, which gives you a little cursor, lets you walk around, well, move your cursor around, and interact with your dwarves directly. You can tell them what, you can show the labor, you can show the combat. So this tells you that this guy here, where are we at? Okay, so we're on this guy right here. We'll zoom in so it's easier to see. On this guy, he's on top of a mastiff. So this is one of our fighters. So we can go general, which is what we're on. We can view his inventory. He has nothing. We can view his preferences, which this is the animal. We can WND. So we're actually viewing the mastiff right now. We're not viewing the dwarf. And we can view status. A huge dog heavier than a dwarf. It excels in guarding. He is very fat and enormous overall. His hair is black. His ears are dark brown. His tail is pale chestnut. His head is pale taupe. His front paws are white. His rear paws are burnt sienna. His skin is dark peach. His eyes are sky blue. Very descriptive. Very, very descriptive. So I have mouse query installed. So I click again, and I get Crafter Sazersten, the jeweler. And where was that? Was that this guy? No, it was this guy. And then I click again, and it takes me back here. So let's look at this guy. He's our miner. So we just click through and we get it, and then this tells us everything else that's in the area because I'm clicking and it's going to the closest random thing. So our miner is actually selected. His general status is he's a proficient miner. Combat is off. Labor and miscellaneous. So that tells you the jobs and stuff that they have. His inventory, he has silk trousers, a fur shirt, and so as you can see, he's got clothing. Wounds, that's what WND stands for. This tells you what is hurt on this person. So if they need medical attention and his torso has a gash through it, it'll be red. It'll have a status here. And then status. This shows you objects that they own, a whole bunch of cool stuff. You can view his thoughts and description. Again, very descriptive. It gives you an idea of what these dwarves are. Their personality, because remember this game, it simulates every person in this game down to the individual level. And that's what this is. These are tied into the code, and it tells the game how to control this character, how to his personality, what he likes. Let's see here. Where does it say his likes? Miner likes light cyan bricks, so if he's in a room with light cyan bricks, it's going to improve his mood. Crystal glass, phase opal, weak toxic, round shields, cages, large gems, and ironclad cage-tooth boars for their impressive digging skills. When possible, he prefers to consume whip vine. He absolutely detests flies. So that's going to give you a clue into his character. If you've got rotten meat laying around and there's flies near it, it's going to make him unhappy. If he consumes whip wine, he's going to get happier. So you can use that to try and control your people. Relationships, this tells you every person that he's met, and it tells you whether they're a friend, an enemy, a passing acquaintance, long-term acquaintance, etc., etc. Right now, every one of our dwarves is going to be at least a long-term acquaintance with every other dwarf that they know in the fortress because, well, they just traveled here in a caravan. So shift escape back to main here, and then let's see. So that's that. That is V. There was one more. Two more, actually. Q and R, or A and R. A is announcements, so if a dwarf tells you, I can't do that, it's going to show up there. So all your little messages show up down here in the bottom of your screen. If you miss it, you hit A, you can get in here and view it. R is reports, this is combat and other things like that. So with that said, let's get to it. Come on, there we go. So Dwarf Fortress, I'm going to play zoomed out here a bit like this. It's multiple layers. It's a three-dimensional game in a two-dimensional space. So I have Mouse Query installed, so what I do here is I scroll my mouse wheel down and it goes up. I scroll it forward and it goes down into the earth. And there are quite a few layers. So right here, this shows you the layer you're on. And this is kind of a visual representation of the earth that's around you. So if you know what's down here, and it's 104 layers deep. Now if we scroll all the way up, and there's the sky. Once we're here, we can actually go up. So we could build 23 layers into the sky, and that's that. So we're going to set up a pasture, which is a zone. We go I, and we got a cursor. We tell it where to start it. So let's start it. Right here. Shift puts it there. Let's put our pasture there. And then if your cursor's in it and it's flashing, it gives you all these little options over here. If you're out of it, you don't get any options. What that lets you do is I'm going to hit N to turn it into a pasture. And then I'm going to hit Shift N, and I'm going to take all these animals and I'm going to put them in that pasture just to get them out of my dwarves' way for now. This will let the animals feed, it'll let them breed, and it will keep them generally from falling into the lava pit over here and killing themselves. And we can do meeting area, sand, clay, dirt, peat, fishing zones. So if I come over here, we don't have any fishermen, but I could do, say, that and turn that into a fishing zone. And as you can see, it highlights back and forth, and I can also come over here, which these are important things to do when you're first starting a game. I can turn this one into a water source, so if there's no alcohol, they can get water from there. And then, yeah, all sorts of crazy things to do there. So that's that. Now, everybody will start grabbing these animals once I hit spacebar and pulling them into the pens here. Let's watch it happen. Oh, busy, busy, busy. There we go. See? And they just pull them to a random spot and they let them go, and the animals automatically stay there. You don't need fences. You don't need walls. The animals, well, they like to mind the dwarves, and they just do it automatically. So next we're going to hit the D key, which is designations, and that lets you gather resources or engrave things or place items. So I'm going to hit T for chop down trees, and then come up and hit T. So all those trees that just turned black are going to get chopped down. And what is this guy down here? I'm going to hit escape. A nymph. Interesting. I don't know if that's going to be hostile or not. Then we're going to hit designate again, and we're going to gather plants. Now this is good, like right where my X is here, we've got a strawberry bush or something like that. This is going to tell the dwarves that I told to be harvesters to gather all those plants. And that's going to help keep us fed. Now that we've got that out of the way, we can tell the miners to actually do some diggy diggy. Alright, and we are going to start off by doing... Now to designate a dig site, you press the D to start designating, then D to mine, and then you hit enter, and you tell it where you want it to go. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide, and we're going to go back to, say, there. What that's going to do is that's going to tell my miners to pick up their pickaxes and dig that out. And before we do that, we are also going to go remove up down stairs, which is Z. And we're going to go from here. And this is going to keep our dwarves safe as well, because later on I'll be building a wall to keep everything out. Now, the beautiful things about walls are if you don't have these ramps here, which that's what those little arrows are, that is saying they can go up to this level here to gather things. And then these ones are saying they can go up to here, and so forth and so on, onto the up to the most tippiest, toppest part of the map. So this is the top of the map. It looks like, well, nope, we got more over here. And there you go. That's the top zone of the map. So if I wanted to keep every monster from getting me from this zone here, I would come to this level and do that. And what would happen is my miners would come up here and dig all of these little stairways or ramps, as it were, away, and it'd be just a sheer little rock face. But that's going to take a lot of time, and we don't want to do that right now, so let's remove that. Oh, and I'm canceling that by hitting X for remove designation. Alright, so if I hit F1, that takes me down there to that. Alright, we're good to go. Now I'm going to show you one more thing here real quick. Hotkeys, H. This is very important. This is going to help you get through your fortress as quickly, get somewhere really quick. So we want to zoom to here. That's called gate, and we're on this one right here. So if I press F5, it's going to highlight F5. But we want to be F1. Oops, I backed out of that. We want F1. I hit Z, and that changes my zoom. So if I come all the way over here and I hit F1, it takes me right there. If I were to be down here and I hit zoom, move back up here, I hit F1, it takes me back down there. So just quick little shortcut keys to help you get around in your fortress as quickly as possible. So we're moving forward here, and as you can see, the dwarves are off doing their little things. This guy is the only one not doing anything, so he's moving our animals into the pasture here. Our harvesters are harvesting, our miners are mining, and our lumberjacks are lumberjacking. So as you can see, they dug that out really quickly, and we've got a little piece of obsidian here. Beautiful. That's exactly what I was hoping to get. That allows us to pause the game. Now we want to build some workshops. So we're going to hit the B key, and this gives you everything you can build. All of the buildings specifically. Oops, I'm moving around and I don't want to be. Right, it's the plus-minus key to move up and down. So this lets you build items that you have crafted in the game. Lets you place them on the world. But before we can place anything, we have to craft it. We have to make it. So we want to, let's see here, what button is that? I'm forgetting. Building. Yeah, okay, so that is the correct one. So we want to come down and build workshops right here. And that gives you another map, or another selection. Now, in standard Dwarf Fortress, this list is not going to be nearly this big. This is Masterwork. Masterwork adds in all of this Mechanarium, the Scientifica, Academia, biological stuff. It adds in tons of new workshops to make the game funner to play. But we're not concerned about that right now. What we are concerned about is a carpenter's workshop. So I hit return with that. Oh, and I was moving up and down. Oops, with the plus and minus key. Now you can do that with the plus and minus key, or if you know the shortcut, such as for a carpenter's workshop, it is C. It tells you I'm placing carpenter's workshop, I'm in placement, and it's blocked by something right now. What's it blocked by, you ask? Well, you've got these two red squares here. I'm guessing trees. Tree, yep. And then when I move off the trees, it gives me the green squares. That'll let me place it anywhere I want. And I'm going to put it right here. And then it asks me what I want to build it out of. Well, I want to build it out of obsidian because the marble is going to be important later on for making metals, and the wood logs are going to be important here in a minute for making other things. So we want obsidian. And there you go. Now the person that is set to a carpentry skill, he's going to go to this workshop, come up here, grab a piece of obsidian, haul it all the way down here, and build that workshop. So next we want a masonry workshop, which is M. We're going to put this one right here, and we're going to build this one out of obsidian as well. And then I believe there's another one that I want right away. Yes, Z, the kitchen. And I'm going to build this one out of obsidian. And then I resume life. And the people, excuse me, the dwarves that are set with those skills, they're going to build those workshops, and then I can set them to work doing stuff. Now our miners are just about done with their job, and there they go, they're done. Now I'm going to dig some more, except I'm going to go off at an angle here, and I'm only going to make this one 3 wide for a very specific reason. Come in about 20 or so, and there we go. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to place some, let's see how far up, I can only go 1 floor up, so I don't want to go up any further than I am because I'll just come out here. I want to keep it secure, so I want to put downward stairways, J. I'm going to make a downward stair, and then I'm going to regular mine that. That's a nice little trick here. I'll show you guys later, assuming we get that far in this Let's Play. So now they're going to come over here and dig this, and there we go. Now, you can dig 3-dimensionally in Dwarf Fortress. Really cool stuff. So next I want to build up, down, and actually no, I just want to do a regular. So we're going to go here. Keep in mind, this game is in 3 dimensions, so you got to remember how big I've made my stairwell here. So I'm a 3x3, my cursor is there, I go down 1 level, and diggy diggy. Now this square should be at the very top left corner. It is beautiful. And they're going to dig that, so then I'm going to come over here, dig that. Actually, I want this to be upward stairway, not up. There we go. So this, they'll dig the downstairs, and they'll slowly dig this out, and they'll dig those stairs. I don't want stairs there. Beautiful. So Let's see them get to work with that. See if we can get some stuff. All right, are we building the stuff here? Ah, there we go. See, we had a guy and partially constructed. Waiting for construction. Waiting for construction. That just means that the people haven't finished the jobs they're doing, and our people are... Oh, see, someone is having problems. Creature occupying site. So what I'm guessing, yep, that's exactly what it is. So let's remove zone right there. And that just removes that zone just enough to let our people dig their stuff. And there's the sound kicking in. There we go. I hope that's not too loud for you guys. If it's too loud, let me know and I can turn it down. Right now I'm just going off of defaults. So let's come back in here and make sure all of our animals... Yep, see, I removed that. So let's put them back in there. And all should be well. You should be able to build those zones now. And there we go. Now, this game has tons and tons of different materials. So we got clay here. We've got obsidian cavern floor, obsidian stone, obsidian wall, and that is opal clusters. Now, we're not going to get a piece of stone every single time we dig. There's a percentage chance of doing it, and that percentage is based on, I think, how skilled your dwarves are at digging, obviously, as well as the material it is. Some materials are more rare, so they're not going to drop as much. So when these drop, they drop gems that you can craft and put onto your crafts and all sorts of good stuff. Oh, and we need to be on pause. There we go. Try and get as much done as we can. So let's follow them down into the depths of earth. And there we go. Now next, I want to dig some more. Let's dig to there and do exploratory. Yeah, that's that. That is where my furnaces are going to be eventually, so let's put there. I actually only want that 3 tall, 3 wide. Now, I'm not going here because I don't want them to expose it just yet. If I were to dig this hole, a flying creature could come up here, fly down 1 level, and then get into my fortress. So I need to wait until I can have this all floored off and secured before I open it up to the lava and start digging my lava furnaces and stuff like that. So let's get those guys there. Let's come here. Do they have these built yet? There we go, Carpenter's Workshop. Let's make beds. We got 14 people, so A, B, A, B, A, B. You can queue up 10 at a time. Next, we got Mason's Workshop. That's suspended. Let's hit S to resume. And the kitchen. Let's make easy meals. And R to repeat that. They're going to take the raw supplies that we have, the cheese, the fish, the meat, the berries, and they're going to make stuff with it. But before we do that, we want to go into the stockpiles, which is our what is it? Z. Come over to kitchen, hit return, and this tells us what we can use our stuff for. So we want to use strawberries to cook. We don't want to brew strawberries. Ratweed we can brew. Pickleberries. We don't want to brew this stuff just yet. Definitely don't want to cook or brew plump helmets. And then spawn we don't want to cook either. The rest of the stuff they can cook, they can use it, they can do whatever they want. Actually, you know what? What is this? Bloated tubers. Yeah, we'll not use bloated tubers for that. We'll not prickle, but we've only got 6 of those. Okay, so let's, yeah. That'll be good. Now our cook is going to go there, and he's going to, but we don't want to use that to cook with either, or that. We don't want to use that to cook with because we're going to make a tree farm out of that. So all the stuff that's in blue, he's going to go to the stockpile, get the items, and cook easy meals. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's come down here. They're still working. Now, as you saw there, they sped up when they got into this stuff right here. This is clay. It's a lot easier to dig through. So keep that in mind when you're digging and your dwarves are taking a long time. So like he slowed down when he hit the obsidian here and he kept going really quick. Now what I'm going to do down here, so yeah, that will work. So I'm going to come back here, dig this 3 wide because that's how wide I make my walkways. Allows for plenty of space. Then I'm going to come here, come to the end, and I'm going to make a couple of farm plots. Farms, you say? Crazy. How can I have farms underground? Very easily, because this is Dwarf Fortress. Dwarves are industrious, creative, genius little creatures. Now let's put a door here. Door there. That's going to be our kitchen or stockpiles. So we want these to be connected. And then this one, we're going to put a door, double doors there and there, double doors there and there, and these two over here are going to be our farms, provided we have the clay cavern floors. Now, the reason why you're looking for clay, dirt, silt, mud, that kind of stuff is because your crops will not grow on stone, obviously. So if you have stone, you have to flood it, which can be a real pain in the butt. So with our mason, we want to build a bunch of doors. Because, well, doors are what keep people in and out. What people come in and out. Alright, now they think they're done down there, but they're not. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to come into my hotkeys and make a spot, change it to farms. Bam. So now I can come between my gate and my farms with just the single press of a button. Alright. Yeah, see all these little, what are these things again? Nymphs are coming up and down our little slopes over there. Now when my dwarves go over there to actually mine it, they should run away. And the biggest problem with your dwarven miners is they don't follow orders. They don't have a priority as to what they're going to dig. They're going to dig this, then they're going to dig that, then they're going to just... So you want to try to avoid giving them a mass dig order of 20 rooms at once because they're never going to get done. So they're thirsty right now. That's what this little arrow means. He's going to drink. So he's going to go to the stockpile and see everybody's drinking. So everybody's getting drunk. They're having a good old time. They're getting their thirst quenched. Because they're dwarves. They've got needs too. Alright, now I'm going to make a stockpile because I've got all this stuff and we're going to do custom for C. And then we are going to custom settings, and we're going to include everything. There's a very important reason we're going to do everything, and that is because we are going to remove this building. Shazam, just like that. Then we're going to come down here, and we can wait on that. Actually, yeah, we're going to... Oh, see, they already got rid of it. And all that stuff just exploded into the ground. So we can go to look. I want K for look, and you can see all the stuff that's there. I can scroll up and down the list. If I don't want someone to grab something, I can hit F to forbid it. That's what that little curly brackets means. It means nobody will touch that, ever. For the rest of the history of the game, no dwarf will touch that item until I allow them to grab it again. So very cool there. Come back here. Come on, boys. I always dig my farms out before I dig any bedrooms or anything like that, because food and food production is the biggest priority in this game, aside from protection. And the best way to get materials is to dig stuff out. Now, you're not going to get anything from the clay, from the dirt, from the sand, from the soil by just digging it, because there's no stone for it to turn into. So pretty much, if you're looking for materials to build things, it's pretty much a waste of time to dig dirt and sand out. Another thing to keep in mind is dwarves are comforted by dirt, well, not dirt, but by stone. So the more stone that is around them, the more comfortable they're going to be, the happier they're going to be, the more at rest, and the quicker they're going to build things they're going to be, the quicker they're going to produce things. Ah, there we go. So we've got no more access over there, so eventually I will dig this all down so that nobody can climb down from the mountain. Except for one little spot. Come on, they're almost done. Come on, come on. Oh, yeah, we can build a kitchen down here. That's what this stuff is for. Kitchen, obsidian, build another kitchen out of obsidian, and a third one out of obsidian. Now, I'm not going to use those for the most part right away, but they're still nice to have. And then we want a distillery. Where's that at? It should be a D. No. L for distill. There we go. Distillery. This is how we make our booze, people. That's how we make the wine, the beer, the ale, everything that keeps a dwarf happy. And then we want... Let's see, there's something else that I usually put down here, but I can't remember what it... I think it's the dyer shop, the soap makers, and the fishery down here, but I'm not going to worry about those right now. Now we're going to make a stockpile, and we're going to make... Oh! What the heck? What did I just do? Farm plot. Remove. I don't want that. I want stockpile. We're going to make it there. And we're going to customize this. So we want to disable everything now. We want to allow that. Now we want to come up here to food and enable. Yeah, we don't want that. Food, we want... This is where we want all of our unfinished food and stuff. So we want to forbid drinks, plant and animal. We want to forbid seeds. Yes, we don't want seeds down here because, well, yeah, we want to plant the seeds. All right, and now we're going to make another stockpile here. This is going to be our drinks. Come back to food. Block all. Come over here to plant. Permit. Permit. And one more stockpile. This one is going to be for food. Actual food. So we're going to forbid that. Forbid that. Let's see here. Should be prepared meals somewhere. That's what I'm looking for. Come on, where is it at? I've got beast extract. Oh boy, how many pages of that is there? Okay, so let's... You know what? I have no idea where it's at. I don't think it's any of this stuff. So what we'll do is we will just get rid of all that, and we'll just make this all booze here. Permit. There we go. Done and done. And there we go. Now we're going to see some dwarves come down. Hopefully our brewer and our cook come down and do that. However, I can come up here to our kitchen and click repeat off of that. So when he finishes that one, he won't start another one. And these guys are coming down and storing... What? No, 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 no. What are you guys doing? Why are they putting the weapons there? Oh, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you why they're putting the bismuth bronze gear there. Probably because there's no animal stockpile. No, 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 no. I don't want that. Change settings. We want to disable animals, enable food, forbid that and that, and that, and there we go. Come up here. P. There's the Q settings. Enable, 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 enable. There we go. Put everything here. That's why they're doing that. Disable food. Okay, and then corpses we want to disable. Refuse we want to disable because we're going to put them over here. And one more stockpile. Doesn't need to be that big. It can be, make it that big. Permit or enable, and then we want to come into, what is it? I believe it's Z. No, what is it? What is it? Orders. There we go. We want to come in here to orders. Gather bodies. G. Refuse. We want to gather refuse. Then we want dwarves to gather refuse and gather vermin remains. What that will do is it'll take all the dead little animals in the world and all the dead monsters and dwarfs that we end up having, and they'll put them in there until we can dispose of them properly. That is the whole point of that, and that's all it's good for. So this guy is finishing our distillery, and this guy's constructing that one. There we go. Now, as you can see, we got some rough fire opals. Very good stuff. I'm going to make... Let's see here. We want build, farm plot. Oop. Farm plot. Remove that one. Q. There we go. Remove. There we go. Build plot. Oh, jeez. Okay. I am just my brain. I'm having a brain fart here, folks. Okay. Remove. Build plot. Okay. Hit the K button to make it wider. U button to make it taller. And I'm going to make it one shorter, one narrower, so I can do this. I'm actually going to put it right there like that. Alright, and now I'll make another one the same size. This one's going to go right there. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to make two stockpiles. Right here. Custom. With Q settings, disable, disable, come over here, forbid, forbid, permit seeds, come over here, disable, enable, block all, permit seeds. Now I need to make sure this, okay, yeah, he's allowing animals. This is weird why it's changing the settings on these. Okay, this one's all good. That one's good. That Seems good. And this one does not have anything in it. Let's just do it like this. That way we know we get what we want in and out. There we go. Alright, that should do it. Alright folks, it's been 40 minutes of you sitting here watching me trudge on and droll on about Dwarf Fortress. I'm going to quit now. Don't forget to hit that like button. Give me some suggestions in the comments, what you think I'm doing good, what you think I'm doing wrong. I know that there's people out there that know more about this game than I do that are going to be watching this. I am no Dwarf Fortress expert. I'm just having fun exploring the game and doing it on screen for you guys so that you can learn too, possibly from it, or just sit there and laugh at how I'm doing things wrong. If you like my gameplay, please don't forget to subscribe. You'll know when I put new videos out. Spread the word. Let's get my channel big, rocking and rolling so we can do some good things with the community here. Until then, I'll talk to y'all later. I'm Lokewood. Peace.